Hi everyone, today we are going to see this particular writing task 2 question. Most societies have homeless people. Some people think that the best way to help them is to give them money. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Whenever you see a question here, you need to, the first step is to identify the question. It means understand the question. Take each vocabulary and find out, is there any confusing things there? And first of all, we have to do that. The primary aim, most society, we understood what is most societies means. Very minority of the societies don't have homeless people. Even you can see homeless people in the United States of America. That's what. So if you take around 95% of the societies, 95% of the societies have are homeless. Some people think it is not the attitude of all. Some people think the best way to help, this is to be noted, the best way. The best way to help them is to give them money. So the best way to help them, I have to see what type of help you are giving, whether it is for meeting their accommodation purpose, whether it is to meet their food and shelter, food and clothes, or education, communication, transportation facilities. So I have different needs for a person. So different needs are there for different people. So how the help is going? Here it is said in the first sentence, many societies have homeless people. So what sorts of help they need? So I need to identify that the help they need is to find an accommodation. It is understood. Or else that those two sentences won't be correct. The help that the homeless people need primarily is to find a home. It is not food, it is not employment, it is not other things. The primary objective of the homeless is to find a place to live. So the best way to help them to find a place to live is to give them money. So that's what we need to understand. It's not any type of help. It is a specific type of help, and this specific type of help is to find them accommodation. If you give them money, they will be getting a place to live. This is what we have to see. To what extent do you agree? The focus word here is best. So this is the question. This is the particular word which the question stands. So if you have an argument, if you have to decide whether it is agree or disagree, you need to find out whether it is the best way or not. So that is the decisive word here. That is the focus word here. It is nothing else. We do have very crucial vocabulary there in the question. But the most powerful word, that's the word of focus. The focus word here, which decides the way of the essay, is best. So we analyze the question, we read the question, we absorb the question, and we have found what is the turning point here. The focus word here is the best. So now I can decide the answer. Whenever you have got the focus word, you can plan the essay. You plan the essay, is it the best way or not? Is it the best way or not? That's it. So you have to get, first you have to get the think about the circumstances if to generate ideas. The preliminary thing here is to get examples. In most of the societies, you see here, you see there, you see in China, you see in Japan, you see in Italy, you can see in South Africa, you can see in Chile. All these places, what is the situation? So get a picture. So get a global picture, because you are writing IELTS test. You are not going to concentrate on the whereabouts of your own place. You are going to concentrate on the thing in general. So you, whenever you see a particular phenomenon in your own society, you please don't decide that this is happening across the world. Most of the people have a thought like that. In a particular place, like a geographical area, maybe in a small state in India, they see things and they know the culture well there, and they think this is the culture of India. No, India is something which has diverse cultures. It's a multicultural society. If you go to each state, you'll be having different cultures. So a part in Texas has a different lifestyle with Georgia. And Georgia has a different culture, living style from California or New York in the United States. We have to see the things in global, what is happening in affluent societies, in poor societies, what is the picture. Whenever you get the picture clear, you will be able to answer this question properly. If you don't get the picture in general and you be getting only specific examples, then it will be a little bit difficult for you to answer this question properly. You need to see what is happening in India. You need to see what is happening in Indonesia. Need to see what's happening in the Philippines. Need to see what's happening in Singapore. Need to see what's happening in Saudi Arabia, and decide. So this is the pattern of IELTS. See things in general, global view, not in your local community, local view. And if you are successful in that, so in order to get these ideas, you need to get some preliminary information. We have a lot of IELTS topics like health, education, transport, communication, tourism, food and culture, lifestyle, gender equality. All these things are IELTS topics which are frequently asked. When you have this particular topics, so you be having around 10 to 15 topics here. So get the maximum information, Google, get the maximum information, get some general ideas on these topics. This will be helping you in finding out the answers here. Okay, finding out the examples here. That's it, what's happening across the globe. So you need to go ahead with the climate change, need to go ahead with the global warming, need to go ahead with the deforestation, need to go with the land degradation, need to go ahead with some other things, which are, a lot of things are coming under IELTS topics. You can get it online, IELTS topics. Next, when I move on to the first part of this essay, that is the introduction, I have framed two sentences only. The first sentence addresses the topic. The second sentence is my own personal view. So this is a personal viewpoint question. This is, of course, a personal viewpoint question. We don't have to discuss and then give your opinion at the last here. You need to straight away say your opinion in the beginning itself. That's what. The topic is addressed in the first sentence. Next, in the second sentence, it is said, my opinion, I do not think this would benefit them in a great way. The primary reason why you have said this thesis, this is my thesis, I do not think this would benefit them in a great way. Why you have said this? The primary reason why I think giving money would hardly help these people is because of the fact that an individual alone cannot satisfy the needs of the homeless. The point is said there. What is the point? An individual alone cannot satisfy the needs of the homeless. Now I need to prove this point. To be precise, the pressing need of such people is to find a shelter. I have to change here the word pressing. It is fundamental. Need to use the most appropriate vocabulary there. The most appropriate vocabulary which fits there is fundamental or basic or primary or elementary. So it is not pressing there. It is basic. The fundamental need of such people is to find a shelter, and the options left before a person who is intended to help them is to accommodate them either temporarily or permanently. I can give them a temporary accommodation. I can give them facilities for permanent accommodation. Two options are there if you are ready to help. For that, you need a lot of money. Whatever the case is, if it is a temporary accommodation or if it is a permanent accommodation, you have to spend a lot of money on that. And this can be better done by governments and voluntary organizations rather than individuals. So individuals are in the back foot of helping such people with money, those who are homeless. So what we do is that we leave this option to the governments. We leave these options to the voluntary or charity organizations. Number one. The second point, another issue is giving the money. In giving the money is that one cannot ensure this money is utilized for meeting the purpose of accommodation. Yes, this is the thing here. This is the point here. One cannot ensure this money is utilized for the purpose of accommodation. It is explained. To be clearer, those who are homeless might also have other requirements like educating their children and meeting the health needs. They are homeless. Their children needs education. Their children need education. They do have health ailments. They have to meet. They have to treat the diseases they have. All these things. Naturally, they would use the money they get in the priority basis. If you give some money, they have accommodation needs, they have education needs of their children, they have food, clothes. They might use this money in the priority basis, whichever is needed for them the first. They will be utilizing the money on that area, and that may be for food and clothes sometimes. Therefore, the person who avails the money can hardly ensure that it is used in the most appropriate way. So you are giving the money and you gave the money to build or construct a house. Instead, you found that they are using this money to meet other expenses. Anyway, it is a help. They can utilize the money in whatever way they want. So the reason why you gave is to meet their accommodation purpose. So that is not met. That's what I said. That's why I object to this. Now, I admit, so this is the third paragraph. I admit that financial help can assist a sizable proportion of people who are homeless. A sizable proportion of people who are homeless can be benefited with the money they get, the financial assistance they get. But I told the financial assistance, a large proportion of people in many societies are benefited with the money they get from people or organizations or governments, whatever it is. Admit it. But this money is not most likely to be, this money is likely to be most likely to diverted by them to meet pressing needs rather than meeting their accommodation. So it is whatever the financial help they get from whichever sources they get, they are most likely to use this thing to meet their other pressing needs, not the accommodation. They still live homeless. You can say 100 proportion of the 100 proportion of homeless, 80% are benefited by the money they get from these people, organizations, and the governments. But this 80% is not diverting the money to meet the accommodation. They are using the money they get in other areas. This is what my finding is, my personal opinion is. Now, I have discussed the matter in detail. To conclude, though financial assistance to homeless is one way to help them, yes, it is a way to help them, I do not feel it is the best way to attain their ultimate goal. So what is their ultimate goal? An own house. So this is the ultimate goal there. The ultimate goal of these people is to find a home. This particular goal is not met by the money they get, most of the people, in most cases. So I don't feel that is the best way. Giving money, it is not a feasible way. It is not a best way. But I can say it is one way to help them, because they can use the money to some other areas, maybe to meet their education, meet the students, the children's education's purpose, to meet their health needs, or clothes, whatever it is. So that's the thing here. I hope you might not have any doubts here, and we are concluding this session here.